We, F37 and M36, don't have sex anymore. I, F37, had a hysterectomy last year. This was due to my uterus being riddled with fibroids that caused me a lot of pain. Because of this pain, I didn't have sex with my fiancé, M36, for around a year. They also discovered I have PCOS. Since having the hysterectomy, I've kind of lost interest in sex. Not that I don't enjoy it when we have it, but I don't really think about it anymore or just get horny. It takes actively turning me on for me to become interested in having sex. My fiancé complains that we don't have sex. I've told him that if he initiates it, 9 times out of 10 I'll be down for having sex. But he says he wants me to initiate it. This cutting off his nose to spite his face attitude annoys me. And I wish I still had a libido so I could initiate it. But I'm not sure what to do. Edit. For clarity, I'm not sitting around thinking, I wouldn't mind having sex, but he needs to initiate it. Sex literally never crosses my mind. I can go weeks before remembering that sex is even a thing that we can do. Are you on hormonal replacement therapy? Increasing your testosterone might change your desire for sex. What if you start off weekly with a calendar reminder to initiate with you and see how it goes? From there, I was dealing with some mental health stuff last year and was so wrapped up in it that I became uninterested in sex with my wife. When she would say it's been a while, I would initiate. Then she was reminding me a lot. I set calendar reminders to help me be better. Are you on hormones? Did you get a complete hysterectomy or was it partial? I ask, because mine was a partial. Only the uterus and 1 ovary removed. You are my exact age. What are you doing to talk about this with your drive? My husband and I have had this conversation. He told me I need to initiate it sometimes. He said he likes to feel wanted too. When he has to do all the initiating, it makes him feel like he is bothering me. I can understand that. So now I make it a point to initiate on occasion and he loves it every time. That's because people need to feel wanted in a relationship, and the way to materialize that is to initiate. If it feels one way as one party has to initiate for it to happen, then one feels they are not attractive enough to their partner, and that is an ego killer. Here's the thing, what you've said to him is basically you have zero desire for sex, but will if he asks. Nothing unsexier than making your partner feel unwanted and desperate. Also, many people really don't like the idea of having to coerce someone else into sex and find that idea quite revolting. I think you should look into HRT and B. Think of sex as not the physical but the intimacy. Your husband may not feel desired anymore. Your partner feels unwanted. It is not a nice position to be in, to always be the only one initiating intimacy. I get it that you don't have libido or urge, but surely you can do something to remind yourself? Doesn't even have to be sex. You could initiate a massage or a shower together. Anything. Also, I'd recommend getting your hormones checked out. You may need some medical assistance if they are out of balance. And an added bonus of that is it might help your libido. It may never cross your mind, that's fine. When someone simply does not feel desirable to their partner because their partner never shows them any desire, it sucks. It sucks bad. It feels terrible. Someone you're desperately in love with and attracted to and want with a fiery passion doesn't feel the same way about you at all. Now, to be fair, you've got some legitimate stuff going on here. The pain related to sex from the fibroids was real. The changes in your body from the hysterectomy, that's all real. The question is, does it absolve you from the need your partner has to feel desired by you? If the answer from you is yes, then tell him you can't do anything about it. He will have to initiate 100% of the time. Take on the possibility of rejection and never feel like you want him again. If the answer is no, put a reminder in your calendar for yourself. Private. To show your dude you want him. Initiate. It may be a little fake till you make it, but it might help. Also, talk to your doctor about the trauma of all the pain you experienced during sex because of the fibroids. That trauma may need some attention by a therapist to help you work out feelings that may be getting in your way. If you want to keep your relationship, initiate. You have said that you enjoy it once it starts up. It's completely unfair to ask him to be the only person making an effort. If he were writing, I would ask if this is what he wants for the rest of his life. A woman who isn't willing to make any effort. Think about it. My edit in response to your edit. Set an alarm. What I get from your replies and your post is that because you have a greatly dismissed libido, you never think to initiate. Your husband wants you to sometimes because he feels unwanted. Both are valid, by the way. Now where I take issue is where you put all of the onus on him, which makes him feel undesired. Your replies further give off the feeling that you don't care how he feels, which is always going to hurt a partner. If you felt neglected in some way by your husband, how would you feel if he just essentially put the problem on you to solve? Being neurodivergent also isn't an excuse. I am also neurodivergent and I do my best to make my girlfriend feel wanted and desired. And she does her best to do so with me. While you might see your response as offering a solution, what it really does is say, this is your problem to fix, instead of being a problem you two work through together. Which is what this should be. He certainly shouldn't expect you to initiate all the time. But I understand why he feels neglected in this scenario. Speaking from the guy's perspective, and one who has the same complaint, we need to feel wanted too. By you never initiating sex, we get the impression that you A. don't find us attractive, B. don't enjoy sex with us, C. don't really want sex and are just agreeing to keep us happy, D. think it's all about you. Many men connect through touch, and when your partner never seems to want to touch you, it's disheartening. I too have gone through the cycle of thinking my wife was just being selfish and not caring enough to make some effort. I am currently trying to correct both our behavior by doing better and fixing what I can from my side. I can tell you this much though. Once I've done all I can, if she can't be bothered to do something in return, we'll be having a very different conversation. Just put in more effort. Sometimes you gotta do things that make the other person happy. His happiness matters too. You're so communicated his thoughts to you and you dismiss it like he doesn't have feelings in the relationship. This whole 9/10 thing can come back and slap you in the face if he decides he wants to have it daily. Initiating shouldn't be a task. If sex is just an afterthought, maybe you would be better off in a relationship with an asexual person instead. You're acting like you have no agency here. I don't want or think about sex, so I can't initiate. Then start thinking about it. You have control over your thoughts. Set a reminder on your phone if you have to. Once a week, twice a week, whatever. Initiate sex with husband. It annoys you that your husband wants to feel desired by his wife? That he doesn't want to feel like a burden or a chore that you need to be forced into taking care of? That he wants to know sex is more than just you allowing him to use your body for masturbation when he eventually gets too pent up after being ignored for however long? Your fiancé is asking you to initiate because he wants to feel desired by you. In general, people want to be desired by their partners. It's an incredibly normal and fundamental part of the vast majority of relationships. When people don't get that, it can absolutely wreck their self-esteem. Your fiancé was direct with you, And your comment about cutting off his nose to spite his face is very dismissive. You being annoyed with him for communicating a very basic need being desired is not good either. Other posters have provided excellent advice about the medical aspects. But your attitude towards your partner and your relationship needs work as well. If you want to see the worst case outcome, check out our dead bedrooms. Many of the people there are suffering not so much from the lack of sex, but rather the loss in confidence, self-esteem and self-respect because their partner is dismissive of them. Not really thinking about it anymore is not an excuse to not initiate at all. There's no reason at all that you can't make the first move every once in a while. This obviously doesn't absolve him of his foreplay responsibilities to turn you on as well. He wants to feel desired, and not just like you're doing it to appease him. He wants you to want it too. I understand where you're coming from. I'm on hormonal birth control that majorly suppresses my libido. The irony, am I right? So I could take sex or leave it. I almost never get horny, but I always enjoy it when we do. So, can you make a pact with yourself that once or twice a week, or month, or whatever, you will initiate even if you're not feeling horny? If you know it's going to be a good time once you get going, I don't see the harm in this. You need to see this from your husband's point of view. If it's always on him to have to initiate sex, it will make him feel that you don't love him. You don't want to have sex with him and he's forcing you. Kinda ruins the whole mood. You are both equally responsible for your sex life. I understand that sex isn't something that crosses your mind on accident. But that doesn't mean all of the work should fall on your husband. If it doesn't cross your mind, then you need to make time to think about it. You need to get yourself in the mood. It shouldn't be on him to handle all the heavy lifting in that area of your relationship just because it's more difficult for you now. If you continue to treat y'all's sex life this way, you will end up divorced because he will end up resenting you. I would suggest finding a sex therapist to help y'all's relationship.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.